Hey, what is this?
Well, it's Dad's old camera. Nice, I got it working again.
Check it out.
That's my 7th birthday. Whoa, did you see that?
What?
I just saw something weird.
Welcome to What the Flick, everybody. We're all here. Christy, Alonzo, Matt, and Ben. Project Almanac.
You wanted to call it Runaway, didn't you?
I did. It's one of the reasons why I didn't. I had a choice between movies last night, and I saw a different movie because it's got a terrible name.
Almanac.
Project Almanac is a terrible name for a movie. It's silly. Whatever it's about, that's the wrong time.
You don't want to know.
It's the wrong
Don't
time.
even tell you.
Tell me I'm wrong.
I'm going to tell you anyway. Here's what it's about. It's a bunch of teenagers, and they discover the machinery in the basement that may or may not be a time machine, and with the help of some hydrogen and some jumper cables and good old American moxie, they go back in time. But of course, it can't just be all fun and games. Bad things have to happen, and they try to figure it out. It's kind of fun. Take a look.
There's this footage of me at my 7th birthday.
We were all at your 7th birthday.
Just watch this. Right there. Look in the mirror. That's me. That is my t-shirt. That is my backpack. This is definitely me.
It doesn't make sense.
You hear that? Yeah. It's in my dad's old workshop. It's like a clicking or something.
What the hell is that?
This is some sort of a machine.
Here we go, Project Almanac.
That's something my dad was working on.
Temporal relocation prototype? What does that mean?
It means time travel. What?
We should try to build
We
it.
can't build a time machine.
I mean, did you see the tape at your 7th birthday? I mean, I think we already did build it. You guys see this?
Shouldn't the next step be testing it on us?
All right. You guys ready for this?
Yeah.
Why don't we go in your house? Watch this, watch this. That's me sleeping.
We did it!
It's yesterday.
It's yesterday!
We invented time travel.
It's like a second chance machine.
Let's take this thing out for a spin. I love time travel.
Check it out before the world ends.
I have to win the lottery.
Welcome to Maserati.
Before the world ends,
I have to fall in love.
David, are you seeing this? None of this happened before. Whatever we did, it had some crazy ripple effects. We have to go back and make it so that we never jumped in the first place.
we cannot do that, okay?
We
It's
have
gonna
to. It's
undo
the only
everything.
way.
I'm gonna go back and fix everything.
Things are spiraling out of control.
Oh my God.
Did you ever think that it was dangerous? How do I know that this hasn't already happened before?
Just keep thinking I can go back and I can fix it myself. David, stop! I have to figure out how to make it go back even further.
It could kill you, David.
This is kind of quasi-Spielbergian in that you have the sense of discovery, right? These teenagers, and it feels, although they're all like high-tech, brilliant kids, like the main one's gotten into MIT, there's sort of like this analog kind of sense of putting it together and seeing what happens, and
If you
yes.
can actually see what happens.
Right, it has this horrible found footage conceit.
And like everything's shot on a phone, and it's and everybody's like being pushed around as they're shooting. It made this movie really hard to watch. It's really frustrating. I know there's some people out there who like the found footage experience. I'm not one of them, and it really took me out of this movie, and it was hard to watch. A lot of times, I had to look away from the screen, like in another movie with Project X, which is shot a lot of the same way, all on handheld cameras. It was really frustrating because I think that there's a halfway decent movie here, but it takes away like enough already. I don't think that the found footage conceit actually brings anything to the table to help tell this story.
No, they don't need it at all. I know they keep trying to justify it by saying, we're documenting our progress, we're documenting our discoveries. Oh, are you shooting this? Oh, make sure you shoot this, you know.
Right.
But from the very beginning, you don't need
And there's
that.
a bit with the VHS camera from when the kid was 7. That,
Which is a cool trick.
Which is kind of a cool trick, but none of that, you don't need to shoot the whole movie that way, and I
No.
think it's kind of gimmicky. This is a movie that, it's similar to the Monkey's Paw short story, is that something gets changed and then it's got these horrific consequences, and then they go and change that and something else shitty happens, and that's kind of interesting, but I feel like they don't really deliver on that promise. And that was really frustrating. Like it takes a while to get started. There's this sense of discovery, but it's probably 30, 40 minutes into it before they've actually done anything that's really all that interesting. I felt like you get a lot of time setting up You know, oh, it's this kid feels this way and that kid feels this way, and
But
yeah,
they
they're
are pretty
afraid.
well drawn, though. I gotta say, all the friends in this little motley group. There's 3 boys and 2 girls, and they're all pretty distinct people, I would say.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I just felt like it took a
didn't
while
care
to
about
really. Well, it took so long to actually get anywhere that anything was happening, right? And you know, they kind of do these pump fakes early on where it looks like the machine that they're setting up could be really extremely dangerous, but there's no real consequences to that until they start actually using it as a time machine. And then, you know, there's one element where there's one element of danger that comes up early, and they telegraph it so much. It's like, well, you know, that's going to happen again. Like this movie isn't particularly subtle, and I don't think it takes any twists you don't see coming a mile away. I think again, the idea of kind of these unintended consequences of going back in time, even if you think you're not changing anything, makes for an interesting movie. And I think there could have been a lot more tension here, but I don't think the movie delivers on that. And then having it all done on shaky cam takes away what little goodwill I had towards this movie.
It's needless, totally. But I would say that within their little time and travel experiments, right? They go places and they do things that you expect any teenagers would do with their power. But there are twists in every instance. Like, yes, they go back and they win the lottery, but it doesn't quite turn out the way they'd hoped. They go back and try to ace a chemistry test, you know. Or there are little things that we would all do if we were 17 and could go back in time, and they have a little bit of fun, and there's some elements of surprise in those here and there. But for the most part, yeah.
So this is primer for dummies, basically.
It's
Looper for dummies, really.
It's a lot
Looper
like,
was Looper for dummies.
But they reference Looper because I think this is supposed to have come out a year ago. Because there are references to like Looper and Argo that maybe in that time a year ago might have seemed relevant, and now they seem a little bit dated. Yeah, I mean, good-looking cast, likable
Who
cast.
does Amy Landecker play? The mom?
I guess so.
Yeah.
She's barely in it.
Oh, I love her. And,
What is she in?
She was
enough said. She was
in A Serious Man. She was the hot neighbor. She's on Transparent.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
she's
she's hardly in this.
She's in like 2
Louis,
scenes.
the
Yeah.
TV,
She's the mom. She's the single mom.
Her grandfather was the guy who said, Joseph Welch, who said to Senator Joe McCarthy, "Have you no decency, sir?"
There you go. So
Have you no decency, Ben?
I bet this is
all.
really cool. If you are a high school kid, I bet this is a very cool movie. Right?
Yeah.
It's a very, very hard PG-13 in some ways in terms of the violent and perilous situations they get themselves into, and there's a lot of language, and there's some sexual references. So I think if you're like a tween or up, if you can get your parents to take you to this when you're 10 years old, it probably seems very, very cool and very, very edgy. But there are enough movies that play with time travel that are way better.
Yeah, it's fine. It's
fine. So what's your
A
number?
ringing endorsement.
What's your number then?
well, I give it a 4 because I couldn't watch it. I mean, that was, you know, I might have had a higher score just based on the story,
just
but
based on the shaking,
but
yeah.
based on the shaking, like it loses points for me, so I give it a 4.
I'm saying 5, so our average is a 4.5. It's pretty high, or it was pretty high for a while.
Yeah, it's in the 60s on the tomato meter right
Okay.
now, but we've got less than 10 reviews at the moment, so check back.
It'll probably drop. All right, bye.